Hello to everyone at the Moxie Institute. I'm Kevin Lerner, and thank you for this opportunity to interview with you. I want to start by answering your first question. Please tell us about your 5+ years of speaker consulting experience. Well, I've been presenting for a long time. When I was 5 years old, I was selected to be the announcer for the kindergarten school play in Miami, Florida. After going to school for journalism, I started a company. I found my way to Ryder Transportation in Miami, Florida, and then found my way into their graphics design and presentation department, hired a friend, hired another friend, and then we were working with a company called Creative Multimedia. I then changed the name to the presentation team, and over the years I've just been working to design PowerPoint presentations, help people present better presentations, and learn PowerPoint better. So that leads to the next question. Please tell us about your classes that you offer. Well, they are divided into two key areas: PowerPoint design training and executive speech coaching. I often am asked to design custom programs like this one, the Creative Audience Engagement Program, which I put together for the EEOC last year. They came to me and said, our audiences are not paying attention to our speakers. They're looking at their phones and their iPads. How do we get them more engaged? So I came up with a lot of different programs or topics, put it together, and they loved it. Then we talk a little bit about the methodology. So how do I do this? How do I find out what the customers want? Well, it's all about listening, finding out what their needs are. I'm not going to shove down a program that's not relevant to them, but we like to ask a number of questions before I get started with them. And then there are a lot of different points that I cover in the methodology, such as making sure that we've got, in the PowerPoint program, tools, strategies, and inspiration to get them focused. I like to say this is much more than a PowerPoint 101 class. This is a real engaging program that I offer, sharing 20+ years of experience with them to get them on the fast track to doing better presentations. I like to feature real samples from past programs and a redesign of their slides. They come to me and say, here's what our slides look like, and I say, here's what we can make them look like, much better. It's a hands-on learning program where we work with them. I show them the best practices of using templates, of using graphics, of colors, all of this together, and they get immediate results. And it's mostly a customized curriculum. I have many different topics I can share with them, and I work with the clients before we get started to come up with a custom program that just meets their exact needs and their budget. For the executive speech program, I like to have a couple of key points here. We like to say I want them to speak with power, clarity, and confidence. How do we get them to do that? Well, it starts by coming up with a training curriculum that's customized to their needs. Who are they speaking to? How many people? What are their specific problems? Do they have problems with their gestures? Do they have problems pronouncing things? Are they just not having the right confidence? So I start by having a baseline of how they're presenting. I videotape them with their initial delivery of something that might be saying in their class, and then I offer some critical analysis of what they're saying and not saying right, and then we look and we replay it. I offer these points, then they get up and do it again, a video record them again, and then we do another analysis, and by the end of the day they are spot on with a much better delivery of how they've pronounced and delivered their presentation. I also have a third component, a new and very exciting methodology approach that I use, and we're looking here at the dimensional presentations model. The dimensional presentations model came to me a few years ago when I was just offering feedback and input to people and saying, I'm hearing some good stuff, but it's just a lot of facts and information. Can you make it more enriching? Can you make it more fulfilling? Can you make it more dimensional? So the dimensional model is based on 5 key components. In the inner core, you've got you. On the outer core, you've got your audience. And then around it, you've got a presentation, a message, a speech to deliver. And then the inner blue core is focused on content. What do we put into the presentation to make it more enriching and dimensional with content? Obviously, we got facts and and information, but we could also add some stories. We could also add some facts. We can also add some data. We could also add maybe some rhetorical questions, all of these different elements. And then you've got to deliver it. So how do you deliver it more dimensionally? Well, you could just get up there and stand, but you could also use gestures. You could also use body language. We could also slow down the talk and speed up the talk. So a lot of different ways of delivering the message, and you can look through 32 different elements in this. At the bottom, we've got the enhancers, all the different things that you could add to your presentation to make it better, from practice to confidence to getting a good night's sleep, your well-being. All of these are different elements. So you don't need to have all of them, but the more that you have, the more dimensional the talk and the presentation will become. The next question you ask is, tell us about your clients that you've worked with. Well, we're looking at a whole list of all different clients here, and some of them have been large clients like NASA and the FAA and BET Television. General Electric was a large client of mine, and many of them are smaller clients. Some of them come to me for repeated work and projects, and others come to me just for a one-time niche program. They all seem to like it because on my LinkedIn page, I've got over 60 recommendations of clients that have said great things about my program. The majority of work that has been done, 50% has been PowerPoint design, and the other has been split between PowerPoint training and presentation executive skills coaching. Here are some of the projects. I could go into every one of these with great detail. Tell us about your corporate training and development experience. Here are some photos with Sony, with Harley Davidson, Toastmasters International. I spoke at their big conference. There was Western Power Electric and ADT I worked with a long time ago, and it was a great project. Then Software AG over here, this is one of the key clients that I worked with when I was down in South Florida. Worked with Software AG, they loved me and compelled me to move up here to the Washington, D.C. area. And SHRM, the big human resource management conference, had my biggest audience there was about 300 people, so very exciting. As I mentioned, the programs are broken into two different key areas. We've got PowerPoint design training and executive speech coaching. We've got some programs from the Advanced PowerPoint program focused on fonts, focused on organizing your presentations, presentation time management, reducing PowerPoint clutter, how to become a PowerPoint power user, how to prevent PowerPoint pitfalls. And the list goes on. I've got about 40 different specific topics. Many of them started off as blogs. Others become elements into the PowerPoint training program. And we can pick and choose these modules, if you will, for the specific program at hand. For the executive presentation skills training, I've got also a lot of programs that are there. Body language mistakes to avoid. Pause power, how to use pauses in your presentations. Presenting with passion. Handling questions in your presentation, and many more. The number of programs that I've worked with in the last 18 months, you ask, it's been about 10, but I'd like it to be more. And so that's why I'm excited to be interviewing for this opportunity to work with you. And I just want to close with the pricing schedule that I've got here. The pricing schedule is a grid that's divided into, based on a $175 an hour consulting rate, and split up between the number of people that we'll have in the class, the length of the program, and if it's just going to be me or a separate trainer working with me. There's also a discount that I often provide for nonprofit organizations. And finally, you ask, am I comfortable with the rate that you've provided? Yes, I am. So in conclusion, I want to thank you for this opportunity to interview with you. I hope that you see the opportunity and the potential and the past performance that I've provided to past clients. It would be an honor to join your team, and I welcome the chance to interview and answer more questions in person or provide additional answers that you haven't seen here or details of the programs. Thank you so much.